Nitro family. Corey Jordan TTR Racing. It's TTR Racing Team Tech Tip Tuesday. So my tech tip for this Tuesday is when you're putting on new rear A-arms and your front arms, when it's time to replace it and they got slop in them and it's time to replace them, remember when you're doing your arms, not to this the C block and this the hinge pins, not to tighten your hinge pin nut all the way down. Reason is you want your suspension to be fluently loose, so it'll be plush when you go over bumps and jumps. So your suspension will work instead of your tires, your hubs, and your real knuckles taking all the stress. This is what your suspension is for. See, if you tighten the nut all the way down, look at your suspension arm. It can't be flush and move with the terrain. You know what I'm saying? Move with the car terrain, going over rough and bumpy areas when you're out bashing. Going over rough terrain when you're out bashing, or either going over your the bumps and humps and jumps and your bumping sections at the track. Just when you building your kit, or when you're going over your kit, cleaning it up, freshening it up, always remember, do not crank down on your hinge pin nuts. If you have hinge pin nuts, keep them. You want the way your suspension, you want it to be loose. You want it where your arms will move. They'll flap. You know what I'm saying? They will have movement, because that's your suspension. It's just your arms. It's just without the shocks, and you want your shocks to absorb the bumps. So you want your suspension to be free. This go for the front A-arms and the rear A-arms. This is how you can get the best ride out your whips. Your just make you have a better plush suspension feel. So you, like I said, you want your suspension, your shocks, to take all the shock up of going over rough terrain. So you want your arms to be loose. So you loosen it up just enough so your arms will move up and down freely. Just like that. That's what you want. You want your arms to move freely. And with it like this, the nut won't come off, so you won't have that to worry about. Don't worry about that. If you still kind of iffy about having the arms free and the nut's not all the way tightened up, then you can put just a little bit of Loctite. But that Loctite would expand, and it may bind up your suspension arm. You know what I'm saying? So that's another little tip from just our race team, TTR Racing. TTR Racing is Team Tech. So that's why I say it's Team Tech Tuesday. So just little things like this makes a huge difference when you're racing and bashing. You want your suspension to be free to be able to work. See, like this arm, my other arm, see how it's loose? That's what you want. You want your arms to be free, loose. So that's why sometimes when you're replacing your turnbuckle linkages, you want those also. You don't want them to be wore out, but you want them to be loose. So, because all this play a part in how your suspension moves, how your suspension soak up bumps, and how your suspension going to act when you come off a jump, when you land plush off a jump. This is going to keep your car from hitting the ground and bouncing all over the place and flipping over. So most of the time when it bounces like that, you know, it could be because your arms are just too tight. Your suspension is bound up, so it's not going to land and drive right. because your suspension is too tight. So you want all this stuff to be free. You want it to be tight where it stay on and not the nuts not come out, but you want it to be free moving. All this stuff to be free moving. So you get the best performance out your suspension. So, like I said, when you're putting your front arms on and you're doing your rear arms, just tighten the nut. You can tighten the nut all the way down, which that's too tight. You just want your arms to be, you want them to move free. You want them to move free, like that. But I tighten them all the way down and just turn the nut back. If you have a nut, turn it back where your arms are, that can move freely. That can move free. So I'm gonna turn my back, probably not even less than a quarter turn, but you just turn it back where just turn just a little incremental turn at a time. Turn it back just a little bit so they'll move free like that. That's good. That's good. So yeah, this just Cole Jordan TTR Racing with his Team Tech Tip Tuesday. So I just wanted to show y'all that. And again, when you're doing this, when your hubs are down, it's also a good time to check your bearings. You can check your bearings. You can take it out, but also you just can, spin this right here or just feel it. It should be free. It should be free. And this would be a good time to get some just get some WD-40. Some WD-40 and spray on your bearings and just let it soak in overnight. Just let it soak in overnight. Your front bearing and your rear bearing. Your inner bearing and your outer bearing. Just spray it with WD-40 and just let it soak in overnight. That's why it's key. When you know you're about to go bash the day before, or you about to hit the race on the weekend, always start checking over your stuff early. Give yourself some time so you won't be rushed. So you don't have to rush and do this stuff. So you won't be rushed to work on your whips. Give yourself time to do it, and not be rushed. So you can go over everything thoroughly, and you can make sure everything is, went over correctly. So this is just a Team Tech Tip Tuesday for Team TTR Racing. Again, it's Cole Jordan, and y'all just, words out here crazy. Just family, just take care of yourself. And it's crucial, y'all. I mean, this whole thing is not really about racism. It's just right and wrong. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. That's what me and Woogie be saying. How you gonna treat somebody if they got, how you gonna do somebody wrong and you don't want that to be done to you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hey, Cole Jordan TTR Racing. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And if you ain't ripping, you tripping. So y'all stay tuned. Got some stuff coming up. Got some unboxings coming in. So y'all stay tuned. This EKJ 24,000. This YouTube page about to go to another level. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about no fifth scale, but all around, just doing things more thorough and paying attention, and we gotta step our game up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I say, y'all don't trip. There's a lot of fuels out there. I use the Bones Brew 38% oil. That's been great for me, but there's still other fuels out there. VP, Nitro Pro fuels, Flashpoint fuels. Still got Sidewinder out there, Morgan fuels, Sidewinder. Who else out there? You got Maxima fuels. That's real good. Maxima engines, Maxima fuels. So it's a bunch of fuels out there. So you know, hey, Byron's just they got too greedy, I feel, and start overcharging. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, rock. This is my choice. Bones brew. That's my choice. But like I say, main thing is, y'all, when y'all doing these 8 arms, do not over tighten your nuts and do not over tighten, bind up your suspension. Your car is not gonna roll right for your front A arm and your rear. I'm doing this my truggy rear A arm, so that's what I'm going over tonight, and I'll freshen it up for a race this weekend. So y'all just stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned, and just remember that that's important. Not just also for your hub, your hub outer hinge pins, same thing. Do not tighten these all the way down. You want all this stuff to be free. You want all this to move. You don't want that binded. You want all that to be free. All this. Don't tighten this all the way down where it's stuck like up. You want it to be free. Just like that. So all this is part of your suspension. So just remember that tip, man. That's important. You'd be surprised how different your car will handle if your suspension is free moving, flowing with your shocks. So yeah. Alright, y'all. Remember, if you ain't ripping, you tripping. Later on, y'all.